3-9 overall, and now Danny O'Neil, a year in, is in the transfer portal. I'm kind of fascinated where they turn for a quarterback in 2025. You had a true freshman. Does that mean now you do the exact opposite and you bring in a fifth-year player?
All I know it would behoove Sean Lewis to bring in a guy that has played a little in college, I think.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. We do have Raiders football. It is Monday night. Raiders football, the showdown tonight. The showdown tonight at 5 p.m. The Raiders, that big game.
Love me some Raiders football.
Kind of a must win or lose. Got to play it tonight if you're the Raiders.
I don't care who they play, as long as they play a game.
Raiders tonight at 5 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
But this is a real special game, though, because it's one of the few nights where Atlanta actually gets to eat at their Chick-fil-A they have in the stadium.
Oh, yes.
Because it's not Sunday.
Not really, though, because it's in Las Vegas.
Oh, shoot, never mind.
Next time. So Falcons Raiders coming up tonight at 5 on San Diego Sports 760. San Diego State's new defensive coordinator. He was named it this past weekend. Rob Orich. He was on staff last year for Sean Lewis. He's going to join us coming up at 2:30. So there's a lot to get into over the next 3 hours. We do have Holiday Bowl tickets, by the way, and we'll give those away in the 4 o'clock hour. AJ Cassavell wrote something this afternoon on Roki Sasaki. So the update, first of all, the Padres have been eerily quiet. We know the winter meetings have come and gone. There was tons of movement around baseball, essentially nothing involving San Diego. Okay, we've seen that before. Preller can still be creative and active over the next couple of months. So AJ Cassavell wrote, here's the Padres pitch to land Roki Sasaki. Okay? You want to know what the pitch is?
I'm intrigued.
First of all, he said that they basically know that they're going to be one of the teams that's going to meet with them, right? It's basically been acknowledged by his agent, whoever was. Wolf? We talked about him yesterday.
John Wolf?
Was it John?
Joe Wolf.
Nah, is it Joel?
Joel
Wolf.
We're close.
All right, so here's the pitch according to AJ Cassavell. Number one, it's a unique opportunity. All right? So that's number one, that pitching for the Padres is unique. Number two is the Padres have deep Japanese ties. Okay, which is true. We know about that. Hideo Nomo's in the organization. Yu Darvish obviously has been with the Padres for a good amount of time. And then number three is the right market. Because remember, we talked about, does he want to be in a large market or not? Or is he better suited for a mid-market? So we don't know necessarily what Sasaki is looking for, but we've been told he might not want the largest market. He may or may not want the Japanese mentor. Joe Wolf talked about that last week at the winter meetings. But the Padres are going to have a pitch because we'll see. I mean, they're going to meet with him in person, right? He's going to pick by January 15th, presumably. And the Padres are among the suitors. There's going to be a lot of suitors, but Padres are obviously going to meet with him, right? That's what Joe Wolf said.
Yes, Sean. They will 100%.
You can guarantee it?
Yeah. What if all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I don't want to meet with you guys anymore?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because we're going to hype it up when it's official that they're actually meeting with him. We're going to make it out to be like the biggest news ever. When Sasaki officially announces who he's meeting with, and one of the teams is San Diego.
Now, I thought the meeting started like this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why
The only meeting news we had was last week. He was supposedly going to meet with the Chicago White Sox.
Everyone's like,
are they the leader in the clubhouse right now?
Because they have a meeting with Sasaki. He's getting all like the crappy teams out of the way first, and then he's like, okay, I want to get these guys out of the way and be nice and stuff. And
by the way, there's every team thinks they're in. Like, there's an article, Roki Sasaki's agent's latest comment should further embolden the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like, give me a break.
Stop.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever read.
It'd be a nice rotation, though.
Yes, it would. The top of it would be good.
It'd be very good.
But
other than that, the team would suck.
What do you think about this pitch from AJ Cassavell? The Padres are unique. They play in a small market, and they have deep Japanese ties. Is that good enough to win them over? Maybe.
Probably need to like elaborate a little more.
I think so.
Maybe give me a little more detail on your pitch here and the reason why you should choose San Diego. Those make sense, and you could say that for a number of teams, honestly, because a lot of teams now, their rosters are so diverse. You could find a handful of teams with Japanese talent on it.
Yep.
So it's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that. It can't just be, oh, we have someone on the team, and we have a great opportunity here, and we have a great area. You need to expand on that. You need to really push home the fact that you are in compete now mode, and you can effectively kill two birds with one stone here. Develop into a frontline starting pitcher while also being on a contender and also helping us at the same time. Like, those are the three things I think if Roki Sasaki is making his decision, those would be the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where can I compete right now? Where can I have the best place to develop? And where can I have the best place to contribute to the team right now as well?
What about in the chat where I think it's Zemitram177 says there's a Japanese garden in Balboa Park? Is that part of the pitch?
I like that.
We have Japanese restaurants, some very good ones
Some
in San Diego.
Amazing Japanese restaurants.
Again, it's like if you are a player that's coming over at 23 years of age, you're giving up so much future earning power. If he came over as a 25-year-old, he could get the Yamamoto deal. He could get $300 million plus, but he's coming over now. He's going to get $6 or $7 million. You better have a really good reason if you're Sasaki to come over now. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to want to lock horns with the right suitor. You're not just like, oh, come over now and I'll sign with the White Sox for $6 million and all is fine. Like, he's got to have a plan in place to forego hundreds of millions of dollars to come over now. Why? And that's where it actually goes back to what we've talked about all offseason. Like, is there a handshake deal with the Dodgers? Why has he already decided he's coming over as a 23-year-old like Ohtani did as a young player when he could just wait and get more money? That, to me, like, if you're coming over now, isn't there a reason you're coming over now? Is it because you know your destination?
And that has to do with the media in Japan that has criticized him recently for his decision to come over to the States. And that has really, like, weighed on him. Joe Wolf, talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, last week? The winter meetings?
Yep.
About how the Japanese media has really criticized Roki Sasaki, and this has been something that's weighed on him heavily. So maybe that has as a reason why, he's decided to come to the States so early instead of waiting, because people were kind of already criticizing him for leaving in the first place, and then criticizing him for leaving too soon, and all those factors there. So, like, the more I think about what Joel Wolf said, as far as the media criticism that he has gotten from the Japanese media this past year, and how it's really weighed on him and affected him, and then market size, wouldn't you be surprised now if he does choose the Dodgers? Now, maybe the industry's like, dude, this is not a big deal and it's whatever. But I mean, I hear those things from Joe Wolf, and I'm like, that's the complete opposite of what you would get in LA. It's the biggest market. It's one of the biggest markets. If you don't perform, you're going to get criticized, and you're going to be under the spotlight all the time if you go to LA.
But are they just trying to throw us off the scent by making it appear as if this is legitimate and valid and above board? Hey, I'm going to meet with the White Sox. Hey, the Pirates think I'm cool. The Padres have an interest. Their GM speaks Japanese. Right?
He speaks Japanese.
Like someone put in the YouTube chat, Nabes, San Diego. Hey, come here. We're not the Mets. Like, I'm just wondering, are they going to go through this song and dance and then ultimately choose the Dodgers? Because I'm going to circle back on that and say that he had his mind made up all along, if that's what ends up happening.
Steven in the chat says, we have Tyler Wade.
We have Tyler Wade. Exactly. We just extended him out for 1 year.
Yeah, it's our big move of the offseason so far.
That's the $900,000 that the Padres have spent. Like, here's the other thing. If you're Roki Sasaki, like, he might be better suited for a smaller or mid-sized market. What does that even mean? You get there, you get to St. Louis, you're like, is this a small size market or a mid-size market? Let me take a look at the recent, like, demographic. Like, what are you even looking at? I mean, Los Angeles feels different than New York, and New York feels different than Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is different than San Diego. So, like, each market is unique to each market, right? San Diego is different than Seattle, and Seattle's different than San Francisco, and so on and so forth. So I don't even know what that means, like, looking for a mid-size market. Like, they don't have a big newspaper that's highly critical? Okay, maybe, to your point. They don't have columnists that write about us day in and night? Maybe. That's a part of it. But that to me is an interesting, that's my thinking. Hey, I'm coming over from Japan, and I'm not going to sign with the Dodgers because their columnists are really hard on their players.
Maybe they were like, look, I'll come to San Diego, but I can't be around Bernie Wilson anymore. And that's
So
why
that's why he retired.
Maybe that's why I retired.
I saw him actually at
Shut
Viejas.
up. Oh, really?
I did. I'm like, you're not allowed to retire without me saying you can retire.
Yeah, you can't retire without like us okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to like have the breaking story, Bernie.
Come on, bro. But no, congratulations to Bernie. Yeah, I have no idea what even that means. You're right. I don't. It's just, I guess, the media coverage.
You're going to sit down with Baltimore and be like, can you tell us about what's your print circulation of the Baltimore newspaper? I mean,
like
it doesn't make any sense.
You got like 4 people that cover the Padres on a daily basis. You got Kevin, AJ, Dennis, and Marty.
There's only like two and a half people that travel
here in San Diego, right? And then you'll have the news outlets. You'll have Darnay there. You'll have Fox 5 there. You'll have CBS.
The team's at home.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, at home.
Look, we're in the clubhouse.
But on the road, and then you'll have, I'm sure wherever he goes, the Japanese media will deploy like 2 or 3 people to follow him.
So Johnny Owen, you'll never have to worry about World Series pressure. Come to say that's terrible.
That's awful.
Listen,
and I'm sure once they, deploy the 2 or 3 media members for Roki Sasaki from Japan, then man, that press box is really going to be packed.
Well, it actually will be, and that's even more of a reason not to credential you in 2025.
Yeah,
it probably will be. Again, if it's going to be like, who's going to have the best pitch? Is that going to be the reason you go somewhere? You're going to end up in San Diego because they had a better pitch.
So let me ask you this: like, if you were switching jobs, wouldn't
I look forward to that?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, before you talk to them, like research out that potential
100%?
So Roki Sasaki, I bet you, whenever he sits down with his team, or if he's already sat down with his team, they have researched out
absolutely
potential places to go, and they looked at rosters, they looked at development, and they've looked at who's had the most success where, and the media coverage, I'm sure, and places to live. Like, this is not like a cold turkey going to these meetings. Like, what? Tell me what you know. Tell me everything about San Diego. Right. I know nothing about you guys.
I thought you guys were in Iowa.
Yeah, like what?
This is like farm country.
Where
I didn't know you're in the West.
You're the Padres.
And also, don't you have to narrow? Like, don't you immediately have to? Wasn't it Juan Soto who was crossing off teams? If you're Roki Sasaki, don't you immediately have to cross off like 20 teams? You can't meet with 25 teams. I think you got to get down to like 5 to 10, right?
Right. I think you have like the 5 teams that like they think they have a chance, but they really don't. And then you have the 3 teams that
actually have a chance.
Yeah, like the 2 teams that are like, we think we could really do this. And then like 3 or 4 teams that actually have a chance to land Roki Sasaki.
That's what I think. But then again, I hear he's going to meet with the White Sox. And maybe that's just hey, let's just do it out of the kindness of our heart meeting. But there's a lot of funny comments in the chat.
Yeah, I'm loving you guys out there. What would be your pitch to Roki Sasaki to come to San Diego?
Right.
Steven, be on the Jon and Jim show and discuss water filtration.
I like that.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
San Diego, Zemmer Tram says, San Diego has tacos El Gordo. Just don't look at the parking.
Why? What's wrong with the parking?
It's awful. I went, dude.
At Tacos El Gordo?
No, just in general in San Diego.
Dude, we go downtown every Friday and we always find parking.
Because we're there at like 2 p.m.
Right.
But no one's downtown or they're working.
Every city has bad parking downtown at like 5 o'clock on a Friday.
I went to the Lafayette Hotel last night on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
No parking anywhere. Like,
this is downtown?
No, it's in where is it? Not South Park. It's like
it's University Heights. It's down the street from my house.
Yeah.
They don't have a parking lot. That's why.
I know it's awful there.
I know, because they take up all the street parking by my house.
Hope you're not listening, Roki.
Love the Lafayette Hotel.
I hope you're not listening because you're not going to be able to park on the street if you sign here.
Our housing prices are outrageous, but it doesn't matter because you're a millionaire now. From Jeff. Thanks.
It's cheaper to live here than Los
Alex,
Angeles.
hey, Roki, have you ever had a California burrito? San Diego has the best.
Yeah, I think he's going to need more.
Yeah, a little bit more, guys.
San Diego State's defensive coordinator Rob Orich will join us at 2:30. Much more on this on the other side. Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. Raiders pregame beginning at 5 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, you can hit us up on the talkback mic. Sell San Diego to Roki Sasaki on the talkback mic.
Yeah, what do you
Play
got?
on air. How would you sell San Diego to Roki Sasaki? You're pitching for the Padres organization. Sell the Padres in 30 seconds or less on the talkback mic. Open the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap that little microphone icon next to the play button to leave a 30-second talkback. Rob Orich will join us coming up in 10 minutes. He's San Diego State's new defensive coordinator. Aztecs had a good weekend on the recruiting trail. Transfer portal is open. They landed 5 or 6 commits. We'll talk to Rob Orich about that coming up in about 8 or 10 minutes. Other than Sasaki, which is where the Padres have all of their eggs right now, other than Sasaki, the Padres have truly done nothing.
Nothing.
I mean,
Zero.
way less than the A's,
Zip.
who signed Luis Severino.
Zilch.
Way less than basically the other teams. I'm sure there's another team that's done nothing, but for a team that's like a quote-unquote contender, it feels like they've been awfully quiet.
Now, the Marlins haven't done anything, but they have made at least one trade.
They're not a contender.
No, I know they're not a contender, but they've made a move. They traded Jake Berger. I forget where, but they at least made a move. The Padres have made no moves.
Why do we think this is? Is it because they're still determining their budget? It's because they want to have the market set before they trade like a Dylan Cease and or Michael King, but before you trade Dylan Cease, have all the starters off the board, the Corbin Burns, get them off the board. Now there's more value to potentially trade Dylan Cease.
I think they already know the budget. Like Preller knows exactly what he has to work with. There's no way you go this long into the offseason already, almost damn near in January, and you don't know your budget. Like, you know your budget pretty soon after the season ends, in my opinion. So he's known that. They know the parameters that he has to deal with. He knows how he has to build a contender with literally scraps. And I think it's more the second thing where the market is what's going to determine the next move. Whenever Corbin Burns does sign, there's been multiple reports that the Giants are the front runners for Corbin Burns right now.
Oh, great.
Which would, again, it's like the Giants, they're not going to sit and wait this thing out in this division. They have a lot of money. They're going to go and spend. They're going to be a problem probably. Same thing with the Diamondbacks. But a guy like Dylan Cease, you do want to wait out that. And Preller is good at not jumping before he needs to. And with Dylan Cease, whenever Corbin Burns lands somewhere, the teams that don't land Corbin Burns, that's probably a fallback.
But you want to know where Roki Sasaki lands?
That too.
If you're AJ Preller,
that's also the other one. Yeah.
If you don't get Sasaki and you trade Cease,
you're screwed.
It feels like you're 2 starters behind the 8 ball because in a best case scenario, you have Cease and Sasaki.
Yeah.
So if you know you're not landing Sasaki, does that change your plan with Cease?
It should.
And if you land Sasaki, you're more inclined to trade Dylan Cease?
Well, it depends on, I don't even know, dude, because I would keep, if you landed Roki Sasaki, I would keep Cease too.
Like, just go all in 2025.
Yeah,
we're going to lose him at the end of 2025, but this gives us our best chance to win.
Yeah, and if you suck at the deadline, trade him at the deadline. You'll get a king's ransom.
Yeah. They shouldn't suck at the deadline.
I hope
no matter what happens, they should not suck, quote unquote.
Now it is, one of those years where it's like the trend of this franchise the last 6 seasons has been up and down and up and down.
Every odd year. 19 train wreck second half.
Yeah.
21 train wreck.
23 train
wreck. 25 hopefully not.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. Anything can happen. Like literally anything. Are you going to get a better deal now for Cease or at the deadline?
You'll get a better deal now for Dylan Cease because he's a free agent at the end of the year.
I just think, just hold off. You don't have to trade him right now. I don't know all the things that they have in their back pocket to try to make this thing work, but whatever that is, try and do that enables you to keep these guys on this team to compete this year.
But do it. And I agree with you, but then it's like, well, then you got to go use the SpongeBob SquarePants guy in left field. Because it still goes back to the money. If you keep Cease and he makes more than last year, and you keep King and he makes more than last year,
SpongeBob SquarePants,
whatever that guy is, he has like a walk off the SpongeBob SquarePants or something.
I gotta find his name.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, okay, you keep King, but now your starting catcher is Luis Campusano and your starting left fielder like SpongeBob SquarePants?
Chris makes a great point in our YouTube chat. Says Sasaki needs a 6-man rotation. How does trading
No, he
Cease
doesn't.
help convince him to sign
No,
him?
he doesn't need a 6-man rotation. There's so many off days. He doesn't need a 6-man rotation. They didn't use a 6-man rotation with Yamamoto.
But they also didn't pitch him on 5 days rest.
Correct. They just navigated. They figured it out. In today's baseball, with the extra off days in there, you figure it out, right?
Yeah, I think if you do make a pitch to Sasaki, you'd be like, "Hey, dude, they say, hey, dude, bro, you're going to be a part of a rotation with Cease, King, and Darvish, and yourself. That's a damn good rotation."
Yes, my pitch would be like, "Hey, here are the other guys in the rotation."
Right.
Yeah.
Oscar,
Come on over.
Oscar Gonzalez is the one
Is
who
the
lives in a
SpongeBob guy?
pineapple
I knew it was-
down by the sea,
I knew it was
or whatever
Oscar
the hell
or
that
something.
song is.
All right, we're going to get back to this. We have plenty of time. Rob Orich is San Diego
Plenty.
State's new defensive coordinator. He will join us on the other side. Aztecs hitting the transfer portal hard. Trey White is coming back. Rob Orich promoted from edge coach at San Diego State to coordinator, defensive coordinator on the Mesa. He'll join us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Hamul Casino. We'll start in the NFL. 49ers, they suspended linebacker Devondre Campbell for the rest of the season for not wanting to play in the Niners' last game against the Rams. Lions, running back David Montgomery, not good news here. He's going to have knee surgery. He's going to be out for the remainder of their season. And over the weekend, Travis Hunter beat out Ashton Genty to win the Heisman. Hamul Casino is the most fun place to ring in 2025 at noon on New Year's Eve. Get $20 in free play just by playing with your Sweetwater card. And stick around for a special New Year's buffet and live music. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else.
All right, exciting times on the Mesa, and the news just continues for San Diego State football. There really isn't an offseason because you go from one season into the portal and coaching changes, and we're thrilled to be joined by San Diego State's new defensive coordinator. Rob Orich is with us. He was on Sean Lewis's staff last year as an edge coach, and now he's been elevated to defensive coordinator. Eric Schmidt moving on, taking a head coach job at the University of North Dakota. So, Rob, we appreciate you joining us on the flagship for San Diego State, San Diego Sports 760. And first of all, thank you. And secondly, how excited are you for this new opportunity?
Man, I am jacked up. I am jacked up to be part of it and jacked up to kind of take over the reins of what I think is a powerhouse of a football operation, man. And got a lot of love in my heart for Coach Lou for giving me his trust and letting me step into this role. And extremely excited to lead the people we got in this building. I think we got tremendous people in the staff and a tremendous roster returning to us. And so I can't wait to get going.
Are you guys going to be running the same defensive schemes that you ran last year for this upcoming season?
Well, from the outside, we're going to look like a 4-2-5,
okay.
Similar to what you saw last year. Now, we'll be similar in what we look like from a structural standpoint, but we will be different in the way we operate, teach, and go about executing the scheme.
Rob Orich is with us right now. So this is not your first time as a DC. You had tremendous success at Idaho, some of the best years in Idaho history before you got to San Diego State. What was that experience like at Idaho, and how has that prepared you for right now?
Well, it's a great question. I really think the years I spent at Idaho, flipping that roster and helping Coach Eck build the culture over there has really prepared me for this role. And, I say that is we took over a defense there that was giving up 33, 34 points per game. And in year one, we were able to take 8 points off the scoreboard and finish as the number one overall defense in the Big Sky. And part of our philosophy, and that's not a guarantee we're going to do that year one, so no guarantees here. But one thing we were able to do was really simplify our approach for what we're going to execute on the field and get our guys to play extremely hard. And knowing our roster and the core we got coming back, I think our guys are craving the ability to be cut loose on the football field and play really fast. And we got the guys in the house to do that.
How nice is it knowing that Trey White and other starters from the defense are returning for you this upcoming season?
Man, I'm so excited that our core has put their faith in us and Coach Lou and his staff to come back. We got a tremendous core coming back, not just Trey White, but I'm exceptionally excited for him to keep getting after the passer the way he got after it in 2024. I think we're going to see him even take a step in 2025, the second year being in that position. But all the way through our core, Chris Johnson at corner, Tano and Owen at linebacker, Dale Shawn and Eric Berry at safety. And then I'm really jacked up about our returning defensive front players. I think we got a great core up there. I think we got the ability to be really stout against the run. And the way we prepare and the way we build, we're really doing it to build against Boise State. Those are the guys we have to be ready to compete and go win against if we want to win this conference title the way we should. We're going to prep for them all year.
Interesting you say that. Boise will be in San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium in 2025, of course, headed to the expanded college football playoff this year as well. Rob Orich, San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, with us right now on Jon and Jim. It's interesting because you mentioned some of the expected returnees, the Trey Whites, Chris Johnsons, Tana Latulis, and others. How excited were they for you when they found out about your new opportunity?
I think they were jacked up based on our conversations. We have a tremendously mature group. And they know what the product on the field should look like. They know the expectation of this program. And when those three kind of put their trust into me, I was really honored, and there was a lot of pride in my heart that three of the leaders on this team really wanted to put their faith in me. And I'm going to ride with those guys, man. They got a lot of love in my heart forever. And they are going to be the key for us getting this thing going the way it should. Their leadership, their positivity in the building, building on Coach Lou's culture. I think they are eager to go, and I think you can tell from me I'm ready to go as well.
It's always a great day when you have somebody that you're recruiting either through the portal or in high school commit to you guys at San Diego State today. Big one, Niles King officially signed with you guys today. What can you tell us about Niles King and what he's going to bring to this defense?
Niles is a dude. Niles is 6'5", 271, built like a power forward, can run, can lower his levels in pass rush. He's going to be a great addition to our defensive front, which I believe is a strength of ours heading into next season. I know one thing that was important for him was the opportunity to rush the passer and do it at the highest level. And when you pair him alongside the Trey Whites, the Brady Masters, the Ryan Hendersons that we got returning in our front, I think he's excited not to see double teams like he did the entire time in the GLIAC conference at Division II. So I expect big things from Niles, and I think he is a tremendous fit for our scheme. But he's a great kid, man. He's a great kid out of West Bloomfield High School in Michigan. Not a listener knows where that's at. But that's a Midwest kid coming out to the coast, man. He's ready for it.
Can you take us more behind the scenes there? Because you see a player like Niles King, and he was getting like national recruiting buzz. I saw Pete Thamel at ESPN when he went into the portal saying, hey, he's as good of a Division II player as there is that's in the portal. And then Thamel actually followed up today saying he's committed to San Diego State. What was it about the Mesa? Was it the system? Was it being paired opposite of Trey White and not drawing those doubles? Like what makes San Diego State, among all the available options for a player like Niles King, how do you even get involved in his recruitment process?
Well, Niles was a fun situation because he's from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. Okay. He's a D2 guy. I'm a D2 guy. And I think we had some common bonds of wanting to prove people wrong, wanting to prove people we could do it at a high level. And when Niles got out here, first time you ever seen a palm tree, that didn't hurt. But when Niles got out here, man, he's a kid that craves authentic communication. I think he has a pretty high BS meter. And when he was around us and the way Coach Lou interacted with him, the way he felt kind of being around our staff, he was committed before we had talked really an ounce of football. This was the environment he wanted to be in. And I'm thankful that he's going to put his faith in us, man. But it's our job to take a kid like that and make him better. And so he's going to have a heck of an off season for us once he gets into our player development program. I think he's scratching at the bit to get going because he's never really stepped into a facility that has the resources that a San Diego State has.
Another player that committed to you guys just about an hour ago, linebacker from Utah State, Tanner Williams. What can you tell us about what he can bring to this defense?
Yeah, Tanner Williams is an extremely steady player, and I think he's just starting. He's a freshman, played a little bit at Utah State this year, was at Modern Day High School out of the Los Angeles area. He is wired to be a linebacker. You know those guys you just meet, and you're just like, that guy's a linebacker? That is Tanner Williams. And he is fast, much faster than what you would think looking at his frame, but he's about 6'1.5", 225 pounds, probably runs a high 4.5, and he's got a chance to be an every down type player for us in the 4-2-5 system. What I like about him the most, man, is all he cares about is ball. He's not into the glitz and glam. That's a blue collar guy that wants to be around the football, and I anticipate that's what we'll see.
What other priorities? I mean, the portal's so crucial. Obviously, rosters are always evolving. As you look at the portal being open and as you put an eye towards 2025, what are some additional priorities in the days and weeks ahead?
Yeah, we're really fortunate is that we're not in a situation where we have to add a ton of pieces defensively. What we look at in the portal is not necessarily always a position-specific person. Obviously, you have to fill those needs, but a type of player. And that type of, he can be undersized, But as long as he plays the game extremely fast with a ton of passion and he tackles at a high clip on tape, we feel like those guys are good fits for us. We want passionate football players who love to hit, who love to play the game. And the guys we've taken out of the portal so far, their love of football and their quest to be great players are two boxes we checked right away. And so whatever we look for in the portal, those are two mandates.
Rob, we're excited for you. Great opportunity, obviously. All the defensive history on the Mesa. It's been one of the premier defenses in America for the better part of the last 20 years. We're excited for you to continue that and carry on the mantle. Again, Rob Orich, he was here a year ago as edge coach for San Diego State, now elevated to defensive coordinator for Sean Lewis in 2025. We appreciate you taking time for us. Happy holidays, and we'll do it again in 2025.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, man. Can't wait. See you guys later.
Look forward to it. All right, Rob Orich, again, the new DC for the Aztecs. Speaking of college football, I'll disclose my Heisman vote, my first ever Heisman vote on the other side. Plus, I'll tell you why I voted for who. That's next on Jon and Jim. If you haven't seen the new iHeartRadio app, make sure to check the App Store. If you don't have access to it yet, you will in the days ahead. Brand new, complete overhaul, already an amazing audio app, the number one in the world, and you'll have access to all the new features on the brand new iHeartRadio app. If you don't have access to it now, check the App Store. You'll have access to it at some point later this week.
Yeah, I can't wait. We've seen a little bit about it, and it looks amazing. I think a lot of people are going to love the new look of the iHeartRadio app. It already is the best app in the world as far as the audio goes. So now it's becoming easier and refresh update. Can't wait.
My first ever Heisman ballot. All right. So I was so excited. I go to my computer last Sunday after the championship games. It took 2 seconds to complete. You just put 3 names in. Boom.
Yeah.
So you couldn't publicize your ballot until after the winner was chosen. We all know Travis Hunter, who had a very special season. We understand it. But here was my ballot. No surprise. Ashton Genty, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you reasons as to why in a moment. Travis Hunter, number 2, I think deserved to be considered one of the best players in the country based on what he accomplished both ways. And then Dylan Gabriel, undefeated, the only undefeated team in the country, quarterback for Oregon, 4 touchdown passes in the Big Ten championship game, had a basically a flawless season for the Oregon Ducks. But here's what separated Genty from Hunter for me. 1, winning matters. They're in the playoff. Colorado isn't. B, the eye test. What Genty did as a tailback this year is not something we see each and every year from running backs. We've seen some great ones here on the Mesa, and Genty even went above and beyond to the point where he's approaching Barry Sanders' record for most rush yards, most rushing touchdowns in a season, and he just did things that nobody does. Bouncing off tacklers, 70-yard touchdown runs, winning in all conditions. Their only loss, he went for 200 yards, essentially, at Oregon. So he was the best player at his position for one of the best teams in the country. Travis Hunter is a great player, but he didn't have a record-breaking season as a receiver. He didn't have a record-breaking season in the secondary. He's just a great two-way player, which is so rare, and that's an amazing accomplishment. But for me, Genty is one of the best college running backs ever. The season he just had in 2024 is one of the more remarkable seasons of any player, really at any position. So for me, it went to Genty. I understand Hunter getting the award. I thought he would. But for me, just using your eyes, watching Genty all year, there wasn't a player like him in the country this year. Boom. My vote.
See you guys tomorrow.
Raiders football coming up in 2 hours and 9 minutes. Enjoy the dead air.
Would you agree that this award in particular was more based on the media hype than actually what happened on the field?
Always is.
To an extent.
ESPN's a media machine, but they have rights to the Big 12, not to the Mountain West. They had Travis Hunter on game days from State College, Pennsylvania in week 11 when Colorado was off.
But this is for a player that I don't think deserved to win.
You don't think he deserved to win?
I don't think he should have won. I'll say that. I don't think he should have won. Not saying he didn't deserve it. I'll say he should not have won it.
Okay.
I think all your arguments about Ashton Genty are spot on. I'm more or less saying Travis Hunter won the award not because of what he did on the field. It's because he's in front of everybody's faces, and it's the first name people think about when they think about the Heisman Award. And he has stats to back it up, but they weren't gaudy stats. They weren't like, oh my God. And this whole, well, look how many snaps he played. That's not even a stat. Stop trying to make it a stat. It's not. Like, yeah, he played the most snaps in college football because he played both ways, but he wasn't the best wide receiver. He didn't win the best, what was it, secondary or the best, best defensive back,
player,
defensive back in the country. And I found this to be incredibly interesting.
Okay.
So PFF, it's used for a lot of different metrics to grade grade how players are, like how well they are.
Fangraphs for football.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And in the PFF era, since 2013.
Okay. 11 years.
11 years. All right. Here are the top players, according to PFF, their grades for their season.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is the highest ever. In 2019, he graded out as a 95 overall.
All right, so since 2013, any position, Joe Burrow had the best PFF, like analytical season.
Of Heisman winners.
Okay.
Of Heisman winners. Devontae Smith, Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce Young in 2021, his PFF grade was 92.1. And then Caleb Williams in 2022, his PFF grade was 91.8. You want to know what Travis Hunter's PFF grade this year was?
Yeah.
This year, he had 2 because he was offense and defense. His defensive PFF grade was 90.3.
Okay.
And his offensive PFF grade was 85.3.
Really? Even with the 90 plus receptions and the 1,100 yards, he
Mhm.
was still in the 80s as a receiver. Okay.
'Cause
What
he-
was Ashton Genty?
Ashton Genty was 95.3, the highest of any player ever
Since 2013.
since 2013.
Yeah. That speaks to what we saw.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Any Heisman winner.
Any Heisman winner, not any
But
player.
were there a lot of players higher than Joe Burrow at 95 that didn't win the Heisman?
Maybe
Probably
like
one.
defensive ends or tackles or
But doesn't that
linebackers.
speak to, dude, when you would put on the highlights of Ashton Genty, he's doing stuff guys don't do.
Yeah.
He's bouncing off 3-4 guys. Entire defensive strategies are to slow him down. 8-9 in the box. They could not do it. He's the only player ever to have 125 rushing yards in every game of a season.
Yeah.
Like, he was unstoppable. And by the way, he was hurt in the second half of the year. He wore some arm brace second half of the year. Didn't slow him down.
Yeah, it's Travis Hunter is the PFF's worst graded Heisman in the PFF
era. Okay.
Genty graded higher than any Heisman Trophy winner in the PFF era, and he didn't win. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this close.
It was super close.
I mean, this thing was like razor thin.
Like 200 vote. How about this? The West Coast vote. Genty won over Hunter by like 3 spots, or like 3 votes overall. Every region was relatively close. I mean, Genty was a runaway second place finisher.
It was a 2-man
to Gabriel and Ward,
it was a
who were
2-man
third
race,
and fourth. Here's the thing: if Ashton Genty would have played outside of the group of 5 and had the same year, he would have easily won it.
And it's looking at the vote. You don't want to break down every single vote because how many people get a Heisman vote?
850 media members and every living Heisman member.
That's a lot.
It's like 900.
And some people had like Dylan Gabriel as their number 1 on the Heisman list. They
Or
had
Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders in the top 3, or they had the running back from Arizona State in their top 3.
Yeah, Scattaboo, Tyler Warren, the tight end of Penn State.
I think Cam Ward got a couple first place
absolutely.
votes.
He was a finalist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if everybody voted just for either Genty or Hunter, I think Genty would have won it. But because you had people voting for other players here and there and not even having Genty in their top 3 or top 2, it's ridiculous. Genty should have won. Hunter's a really good player. Genty had a better season. And frankly, it's really not even close.
How about this? Genty was on more ballots
than Hunter,
which I found unbelievable. Genty was on over 95% of the ballots. What do you got, Brian?
I think they're both overhyped.
I
think both of them are.
So who would you have given it to?
Probably Travis Hunter, just because he played both sides of the ball. And, hey, big deal. He's going to break Barry Sanders' records in 3 extra games.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going back a long way
I don't
to even find a player that's comparable in rush yards.
It should still be mentioned. Like ESPN, a lot of them are just, he's going to break Barry Sanders' record. And then they don't say that. No, but it's going to take him, and if they win a game, it's going to be 4 more. The farther they go in the tournament, then it's just going to be more games.
And then they should say for Travis Hunter, he didn't finish in any top 10 in any category for anything that he did.
Receiving yards, he did. He was like 6th in receiving yards or 6th in receptions. He had 92 receptions. It was a big number. Look up the receiving numbers from 2024. We can discuss on the other side. We'll kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim coming up. The latest in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, a look back at this weekend in the NFL, plus Raiders football coming up at 5 p.m. It's Jon and Jim.
This update is brought to you by Hamul Casino. We'll start with NFL news. Linebacker Devondre Campbell was suspended today for the rest of the season for not wanting to play for the 49ers last Thursday night against the Rams. Lions running back David Montgomery is going to have knee surgery. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. That's a big loss there for the Lions. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Bears-Vikings up first at 5 p.m. in Minnesota, followed by the Falcons and Raiders in Las Vegas. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And over the weekend, Travis Hunter beat out Ashton Genty to win the Heisman. Hamul Casino is the most fun place to ring in 2025. At noon on New Year's Eve, get $20 in free play just by playing with your Sweetwater card. Then stick around for a special New Year's buffet and live music. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
SDFC, their opener is in 2 months in LA. So that's just over 2 months. And then the home opener is 2.5 months. It's March 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. The way it's been received in the community, I have a feeling that 2025 is going to be a complete home run for them.
I think that the home opener in Snapdragon Stadium is going to be a massive success. I think it's going to be packed. Supporter groups in soccer are amazing.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. We do have Raiders football coming up at 5 p.m. tonight, Monday Night Football on San Diego Sports 760. If you missed our conversation with San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich, you'll hear that coming back at 4:30. Also in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the 1015 KGB Sky Show. This will be following the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. That's Friday, December 27th, less than 2 weeks from now. Tickets are available right now at holidaybowl.com. We've been following the latest related to Roki Sasaki. We're also keeping our eye on 2, not just 1 Monday Night Football game tonight, Jim, but 2 Monday Night Football games. Now, I know we're a little checked out. Your Niners lost on Thursday.
Yes.
Your Lions, you went hard after the Lions. We'll talk about that later this hour.
My Lions?
Well, you've been going very hard at Dan Campbell here recently.
I've been giving some criticism where criticism's due.
Let's get into that right here, actually. So he elects to go with an onside kick, trailing by 10 points in a game they would lose by 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he's under fire because nobody completes onside kicks anymore. Like you said, less than 3% of the time they've been completed this year. But they're already down 10. Like, did the odds drastically change when they didn't come up with the onside kick, trailing by 10? Like, even if they didn't do it, did they have a really good chance of winning the game? Well, trailing by 10?
Well, it didn't help when the onside kick turned into the Bills having the ball at the 3-yard line.
Okay. But apparently the Bills had a good amount of success against the Lions defense.
Yeah, it was one of those games where not a lot of punts. I think
how many combined punts in that game?
That's a great
2?
question. It's a great question. Let me look this up right here.
That's 90 points. Okay, it can't be more than 2 punts, right?
So the Bills had 1 punt.
Okay.
And the Lions had how many punts? 3 punts. So 4
right,
total
4 combined punts. All right. More than I would have thought.
Seriously.
But 90 points.
90 points there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about like, okay, we're not stopping Josh Allen. We need to try something different here. It's that he went with the lowest possible percentage play in that moment. Now, the 4th down call either last week or a couple weeks ago, I forget when.
Yeah, they got
it, and they were well within field goal range. Like, it was borderline a chip shot.
Right.
And the percentage of that was low as well. You're like, what are you doing? Kick the field goal.
Well, this percentage is way lower. I mean, what are the odds
lower.
of converting 4th and 1? A lot higher than a 3% onside kick.
Absolutely,
right?
But it's still a low percentage. Now, in that moment, you could make the argument like, we're going to end the game here because if we kick a field goal,
bit of time. Yeah.
We're giving the ball back to Jordan Love with like 40 seconds left on the clock. I think they have a couple timeouts left. Actually, I don't think they did, but still,
Right.
giving the ball back to Jordan Love with 40 seconds left. He could go down and kick a field goal in the dome. Like,
yep.
I could talk through that, but still, it is a play that you're thinking to yourself, dude, if you didn't convert that and then you ended up losing the game.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been received well.
No. Now, this is not being received like this cost them the game because their defense was awful yesterday. They've lost multiple players on the line of on the defensive line that's going to really hurt them. I think that honestly the Lions are kind of in some trouble here going forward, losing David Montgomery today for the rest of their season.
3 defensive players, right?
Yeah, the knuckles to Jordan Gibbs' Sonic. Do you have any idea what that means?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Jeez.
Are you talking about like lightning to thunder or something?
Oh my
What's Sonic?
Did you know where they have the corn dogs?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with it?
Because that's their nicknames, Knuckles and Sonic.
Why? Why is their nickname have to do with fast food? I really have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't. That's the bad part.
The Hedgehog?
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, remember like that restaurant you
First of all,
said you were going to go to like 4
about
times?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
You didn't hear about what their like nicknames are? They did this whole thing on
Sonic
Thanksgiving.
doesn't have a number 2, does he? What's your point here?
My point is the Lions are a little bit.
I'm watching this onside kick.
Yeah,
they're down 10 with 12 minutes left.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
They're losing either way.
But that alone kind of sealed their fate in that game.
Okay, yeah, you're sealing your fate at the 12-minute mark as opposed to playing the game out.
Right.
Maybe you can force a punt. You're down 10. You get the ball back.
Yeah,
9 minutes left.
Like make a stop.
Right.
Like
but they couldn't.
You are saying you do not trust your defense whatsoever to make one stop.
Correct.
And if you don't get that, like, yes, the Bills ended up
They won by 6.
Yeah, getting the ball at the 3-yard line there. But even if they don't and they recover and the Lions you're at the 40-yard line.
Right.
Like, so that whole play right there is what's I think the scary part if you're a Lions fan.
Are we saying that he's a little bit of a riverboat gambler?
A little bit.
I mean, is he a lot of bit? I go back to the most egregious of all these decisions is the NFC Championship game last year. The 4th and 1 a week ago, and then this decision does not compare at all to the Niners championship game, does it?
It's not about comparing. It's about a trend that it's in the NFC title game. When they went for that 4th down instead of kicking a field goal,
that made no sense.
I'm sitting there as soon as they don't convert.
You're like, yes.
I'm like, yes.
Even when he was going for it, I was watching on my phone. I'm like, what are you doing?
That completely flipped
the game.
Flipped the game. I'm not saying that these two calls. I mean, the one call worked out. This call didn't work out. Dan,
he's aggressive.
He's aggressive to a fault.
That is to a fault.
Costing the NFC title game. The momentum switch there.
Yeah.
I mean, this right here. I don't know if you're going to win this game or not. But you lost. But guess what? You sealed your fate when you kick that onside kick. And in the Packers game, you got away with it, but it's still a pretty reckless call in that situation.
No, Cynthia Freeland, who we had on Friday from the NFL Network, like that's who he is, and his team responds to it, and they expect in those situations for him to be aggressive. They expect on 4th and 1 in those situations, they want to go for it. I think trailing by 10 with 12 minutes to go, and you've allowed 38 points.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's not like it's a 10-0 game. You've allowed 38 points. You're screwed either way. I don't mind it because of that. Because what if you do recover it? Then maybe you've given yourself – you have no chance to win that game. I'm sorry. Trailing 38-28, you kick that ball deep, they're not winning the game. They're not winning the game either way. He kicks that ball deep, they lose the game. Done. They're down 10 with 12 minutes left. There's a 2% chance he's going to win that game kicking the ball deep, and there's maybe a 2.1% chance when you go for an onside kick. They're screwed either way.
No.
If it's a 3-point game, what are you talking about? How could you be down 10 points, having allowed 38 points, and have any chance of realistically winning that game?
You're essentially like saying we are not winning this game by kicking the onside kick.
Not if you recover it.
Well, the percentage of that is way lower than coming back from 10 points.
Giving up the football, down 10 without the ball, 12 minutes to play. You've already allowed 7 scores in the game.
And you have all 3 timeouts. You think you can't get one stop there?
Well, they couldn't apparently, was the problem.
The percentage of them getting one stop or recovering the onside kick. What's a greater percentage?
Stops, didn't they? They were down by 10.
But still, you get, it doesn't, I'm just saying the percentage is much lower if you kick the onside kick to win that game than if you just kick it off normally.
Okay, fair. But when we see the onside kick percentage, we're also seeing teams use it trailing with 48 seconds left. So everyone knows an onside kick is coming. We're not talking about the element of surprise onside kick.
Well, you can't have an element of surprise with the onside kick because you have to let the team know you're going to kick the onside kick.
Okay, that's
that's part of that
you don't
super
watch
new rule.
2024 football.
That's why a little bit, and I said it in my 2-minute drill, Like the onside kick rule.
That thing is dumb. That is so stupid.
It's stupid.
No, the whole new kickoff rule.
The ruler is 2-minute drill.
No.
Wow.
The fact that the new kickoff rule basically prevents you from the element of surprise.
Yes, there's no element of surprise.
It's taken away any value.
Yeah, you have to let the other team know you're kicking onside.
Hey guys,
So again,
Sean Payton kicking an onside at halftime of the Super Bowl is never going to happen.
That's
again.
so stupid.
So it's another reason why that
Oh,
play
Dan
made
Campbell,
no
you're
sense.
an idiot.
So you had in your mind
that it's the element of surprise.
Yeah, there was no element.
10.
There's no element of surprise there. It's
Right.
all
that's
like
that's a dumb decision.
It's just what we're doing. White flag it. If we don't recover this, pretty much white flag.
That's dumb.
And less than 3%. Like I think
that's dumb.
you can count on two hands how many times the team has recovered an onside kick this season.
No, way less than that. There's no way 3% is up to 6. There's no way there's been 6 successful onside kicks.
How many onside?
2%?
How many teams have onside kicked it?
Can someone? I mean, they're probably like 1 for 60.
You're probably right.
You know what I mean?
Probably count
one
hand.
for 60.
Yeah,
or
probably
2 for 121.
Yeah, maybe less. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not 6. There's no way there's been 6 successful
I was thinking
onside kicks. You're right, because in the college game, you could still element of surprise it.
Yeah, you can't pull a Sean Payton in the Super Bowl.
Right,
like,
right.
oh my gosh, he
the
kicked an
second
onside
half.
kick,
Yeah.
which you should be able to do. But the onside kick rule is a complete failure.
I know. I agree with that.
I'm just my point is this. All right. The Lions are a very good team. Now they're, I think, in a little bit of trouble because they did lose injuries. They don't have David Montgomery. Aiden Hutchinson's out for the year already. They lost 2 key defensive tackles the other day as well. All right. The last 2 games, they've given up a lot of points. They can't really stop anybody.
Right.
And going forward, the whole thing that made the Lions great was their 2-headed monster in the backfield, Sonic and Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
Their nicknames, bro. And the fact that they just dominated teams up front. Now, they still could win games by outscoring teams. Okay. But then the wild card in this whole thing is your head coach, who at any point in a playoff game, if they're at like the 35 and it's 4th and 2, instead of kicking the field goal,
go for it.
Go for it. And if they don't get it, then that could flip an entire game on its head.
Knuckles the Echidna.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, I just Googled him.
Knuckles the oh my God. So, backstory, John.
First of all, I've never even heard of Knuckles, and I had a Sega Master System and had the game.
How did you not hear of Knuckles?
Nobody knows who Knuckles is.
Everybody does. They just came out with a new movie, Sonic 3.
But it's not called Knuckles 3.
But they had a show called Knuckles.
Using the second one.
70470. Start with team if you ever heard of this dude. Sonic the Echidna. All right, more on this on the other side. Plus, we have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. If you missed our conversation with San Diego State's new DC, Rob Orich, you'll hear that coming back at 4:30. We've got Trainwreck Radio. We've got a lot to get to. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, keep up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere, whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home. Just ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio. Stay connected with your favorite shows like this one. San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go. Thought maybe where we go, but no, where you go.
Where do you go?
All right, a couple of things off the text line. And I do want to mention in further that Danny O'Neil did commit to Wisconsin. I think we had said Friday he was going to visit Wisconsin. Danny O'Neil, the true freshman quarterback for San Diego State, has committed to Wisconsin. Off the text line, though, 760, a couple of people ripping you. Lions are the team I picked after the Chargers left, says C words. And as a fan, you know we're going for it. And I love how he says we. And we played terrible that game and are still 5 points down with, in my opinion, we had the ball with 12 seconds left. I don't know what that means. Arguing the onside is dumb. The D was getting shredded. Okay? That's his point. Arguing the onside is dumb. The D was getting shredded. Then 619 says, it's not one stop, Jim. If Detroit was losing by 10 points, they had to stop Buffalo twice, right? Yeah, they did. I think that's right.
If you stop, well, like, how do you define a stop? Like scoring a touchdown? Like, yeah, it stopped them from scoring touchdowns. But in that game, how many field goals did they have? The Bills.
1, 2. 48 is 2, right? 6 touchdowns, 2 field goals?
Yeah, they attempted 3 field goals. They made 2. So if you hold them to just a field goal.
Right, so you're down 13.
And you score 2 touchdowns. Or you make a stop. All right.
Okay, we got to stop. Now there's, let's say, 10 minutes left.
All right. You go down and score. There's 7
minutes left. You're down 3.
Down 3. You hold them to a field goal. You're down 6. You go down and score a touchdown. You win the game by a point.
True. But what if that didn't happen?
But that's my point is like the percentages and odds. I'm not saying you had to stop them from scoring points. Like, yes, you had to stop them from scoring touchdowns.
Right.
But there was a path there. If you just had made a stop and they did not score any points, then you go down, you score a touchdown, then you hold them to a field goal, and you go down and score a touchdown, you win by a point. Like that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Again, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm all for all that stuff, all that speculation. I mean, anyone with the benefit of hindsight could call a perfect NFL game.
Oh, for sure.
And even Campbell in the audio that you played said, with the benefit of hindsight, yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I didn't know they were going to start at the 3-yard line.
Right. But even if they did start like the 40-yard line,
then you're still giving them points in all likelihood because you're within like 5 yards of a 52-yard try.
Yeah, in the dome. Like,
yeah, exactly. So, and they've been moving the football.
I know we've talked a lot about the Lions. The Bills.
Oh, my.
No, not oh, my. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes, they're putting up a ton of points. Yes, Josh Allen's probably going to win the MVP. Yes, you could not be stopped yesterday.
Are you saying they're giving up a lot of points?
They are a team right now. Their last, I mean, look at these numbers here. All right. Last 2 games, they gave up 44 to the Rams, 42 to the Lions. Mm-hmm. All right.
Split those 2 games.
I'm just saying, dude, like their defense, you can't be giving up that many points. Same thing with the Lions. Like you can outscore guys if you want, but you need to stop people.
So does this bring us back to where we always are, which is the Chiefs are going to be better when it matters?
Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, like, you look at the numbers. The Chiefs have not given up 30 points in a game since the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Wow. The Super Bowl 2 years ago
against the Eagles.
So they've gone 30-something games without allowing 30 points?
They've gone, let's see here. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Is that accurate?
Pull this up. Hold on. Sorry.
The Chiefs have not allowed 30 points in 30-something games?
They allowed 30 points to the Bills this year.
Lord. What about your stat from 2 seconds ago?
Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. Stop it. So the Bills are the only team.
Even last year?
I want to say even last year.
You want to say it, but can we say it?
I want to say it.
Brent, look that up. Look up their schedule and results from last year and this year and tell us how many times the Chiefs have allowed 30-plus points.
30-plus or 30 exactly?
30 exactly? That's so dumb. Like the Padres only allowed 11 runs one time. Yeah, well, they allowed 12 6 times.
They gave up 27 to the Panthers like 2 weeks ago.
That's not 30.
I know, but it's still 27 to the Panthers.
Brent, while you look that up,
No. They've only given up 30 points one time this year, and that was to the Bills. That's it.
No, you said since the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
I know, but last year
they didn't allow 30 points.
That defense last year was really good.
Okay, that's impressive. That's a very impressive stat. So you're saying if Kansas City meets Buffalo, you're not expecting that Buffalo shootout because Kansas City doesn't allow a lot of points.
Now, they did allow 30 to the Bills this year.
Right.
But that was also in Buffalo.
Right. And this would likely be in Kansas City still because Kansas City still sitting on one loss. Although Mahomes has the high ankle.
Which they say it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But to me, the two teams in the NFL right now that look the most complete,
Eagles
and Chiefs. And now Mahomes, the injury does play a factor.
He'll be fine for when it matters, which will be 3 or 4 weeks from now.
Right. And if they lock up the number 1 seed, then he's not playing until he'll sit for another like 3-4 weeks.
Right. Has the bye week.
Right.
Yeah.
So they lock up the number 1 seed.
He'll be fine.
They'll be fine. The Eagles have a legitimate chance now to get a path to the 1 seed.
Now they'll need a
help.
Detroit loss.
I think
because they're both 12-2, but Detroit has the tiebreaker.
Minnesota's on the heels of the Lions as well.
Right.
And the Eagles have the best scoring defense in the league. So they can put up points. They have the best scoring defense in the NFL. I think that you could see a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago.
Eagles Chiefs.
That's kind of
interesting. You say that.
That's what my pick is.
Now. Lions close with in Chicago against the Bears, win. In San Francisco, kind of tricky, weird. They should win, but Lions at San Francisco, Lions should win.
Lions
that time of year.
Yeah.
And then Vikings Lions is the final game of the regular season for those two teams. So my point is they're not a shoo-in to go undefeated. They could lose to the Vikings. They could lose to the Niners. And if they do slip up, then Philadelphia could absolutely be the 1 seed in the NFC, but they'd have to win out as well. I don't know what the Eagles close with. The Eagles close with Commanders on the road, Cowboys at home, Giants at home. Eagles could easily go undefeated. Easily. All right. On the other side, have we gotten to is that good? We haven't. No, the latest on Danny O'Neal. So Danny O'Neal, Aztec starter last year. He is committed to Wisconsin. What does that mean for San Diego State? Plus, we'll get to the best and worst of the sports weekend. The wrap is still ahead. If you missed our conversation with the Aztecs' new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich, you'll hear it coming up at 4:30. It's Jon and Jim. All right, guys, it is Jon and Jim for our friends over at Hamul Casino. Maybe you've been thinking about getting out there this holiday season. Tonight is a perfect night because every Monday, all month long in December, you've got a chance to win luxury handbags from top brands. We're talking about Louis Vuitton, Versace, and more. 10 winners every hour, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. And Onyx players receive an extra $100 cash bonus. Plus, one lucky winner each hour will have the opportunity to pick a purse packed with cash up to $25,000, and you'll get to keep the purse too.
Yeah, after you win a bunch of money and a luxury handbag, make your way over to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub or Loft 94 to have some great food and to watch all the sporting events that you desire. They have NFL, they have NBA, they have college football, they got college basketball, they got it all. So head on to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub or Loft 94 or one of their poker rooms to watch all the sporting events that you want.
Also, New Year's Eve, we're just weeks away. You can join them over at the holographic New Year's party. Celebrate in style at Hamul. They'll kick off festivities with $20 free play for all, beginning at noon on New Year's Eve. Make it a New Year's to never forget at Hamul Casino.
Yeah, they have everything you want there. You can win luxury handbags. You can win a bunch of money. They have great dining experiences with amazing food. They have great atmosphere at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub and Loft 94. And if you want to do something for New Year's, Hamul is your place to go. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else. This update's brought to you by Hamul Casino. NFL doubleheader tonight from Monday Night Football. First up, Bears and Vikings in Minnesota, followed by the Raiders and the Falcons. You can listen to the Raiders-Falcons game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Other news around the NFL, Devondre Campbell, Niners linebacker, was suspended for the rest of the season for not wanting to play in the Niners game against the Rams last Thursday night. Lions running back David Montgomery, he's going to have season-ending knee surgery. He's going to be out for the remainder of the year. And over the weekend, Travis Hunter beat out Ashton Genty to win the Heisman. Hamul Casino is the most fun place to ring in 2025 at noon on New Year's Eve. Get $20 in free play just by playing with your Sweetwater card. Then stick around for a special New Year's buffet and live music. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else.
All right, the Aztecs will take on Cal in Northern California on Saturday. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30. Ted's got the call at 7:30. Everybody has to San Jose. This is for San Diego State. Now, there's movement in the transfer portal. Can you believe that? San Diego State obviously needs to find a quarterback. They started Danny O'Neal for 11 of 12. The other starter backs, I guess, from a year ago. O'Neal, 11 starts. Tupuola Johnson, 1 start.
Everybody's in the transfer portal.
But everyone everywhere is in the transfer portal.
I saw a picture today of someone in the transfer portal.
I know what you saw.
I think they were visiting Penn State, and the dude gave like a flexing his bicep, and he had a Georgia tattoo on his bicep.
They're like one picture to summarize the transfer portal era, and it's a dude with his bicep and the huge Georgia Bulldog logo while wearing a Penn State uniform on a recruiting visit.
Right.
That is the transfer portal era.
Yep.
So we were surprised, although we're never fully surprised. I don't even know when we talked about Danny O'Neal. Was it Friday or was it Thursday that we learned?
It was the end of last week. So
let's just say Thursday. I think it was Thursday.
Sure.
So he goes in the portal. Again, he's your starting quarterback a year ago. And then we find out he's going to visit Wisconsin a day later. And then 2 days later, he commits to the University of Wisconsin.
That was quick.
So it happens quickly. Now he's a Midwest guy.
Yeah, good for him.
And he was recruited by Wisconsin when he was also being recruited by Colorado and Sean Lewis and San Diego State. So he had a relationship. I think he put it on social media today. And here's the thing: nobody's faulting the student athletes. They're all just a part of this new world. So if they take advantage of these opportunities, they take advantage of these opportunities. Now, Sean Lewis, as we talked about last week, is going to have to find a replacement, obviously, for Danny O'Neal. I don't think he's going to go Wildcat. I think he will use a quarterback in 2025 would be my guess.
I think he'll use a quarterback.
And he'll have plenty of options, obviously. What I have always found so interesting is, like, I'm in all these message boards and I spend so much time on social media, and I call San Diego State football games, and people are like, oh, now what are we going to do a quarterback? They're going to have a plan. I mean, it's not like you traded your quarterback midweek and you don't have a backup or everyone's injured. Like, this is the whole point of the portal being open. Like, they're going to find a quarterback. It's about finding the right quarterback for Sean Lewis. And again, are you going to go young like you just went with Danny O'Neal? Or are you going to go veteran? Are you going to go find someone that's made 50 starts or has been an understudy at a P4 program or somewhere in between?
Yeah, I think they're going to get a quarterback next year.
You do think they'll have a quarterback?
I'll bet you a lot of money they're going to get one.
I agree. I think they'll have multiple they bring in.
Yeah, they'll have someone at quarterback throwing the football.
Like that.
Like they're not. Like, I know I joked about this last week. They're not going to have a safety play quarterback.
Well, it's like you joked about last year. Like, are the Padres going to have a left fielder? Jim, they'll have a left fielder. I promise you.
But can that quarterback do what the left fielder of the Padres did, which was like have an amazing season?
Quarterback's not going to hit 280. He's not going to hit 20 home runs.
Right, he's not going to be an all-star in baseball.
Right. But no, that's a good point. Like, yeah, we didn't know what to expect out of Jerkson Profar or the blank canvas of left field. Mm-hmm. And right now, again, if you're an Aztec fan, you're like, well, hold on. We had a freshman. We wanted to see him develop. Now he's gone. What is it going to look like?
I think a lot of Aztec fans, this is no slight on Danny O'Neal, but can you get a bigger quarterback in here that's had time at the FBS level, who has played some college football? Can you get a guy in here that, like, excites the fan base? I think Danny O'Neill definitely did excite the fan base, but when he went out there, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay."
Interesting you say excite the fan base. I mean, do you think that is part of it? I mean, would that, I guess it's always a part of sports.
It's about it's everything. Like, you don't think that Michigan is excited. Now, again, it's different because the NIL money got this guy for like $12 million bucks.
Right.
What's this guy's name?
I don't even know.
I forget his name.
Was it
He's the number one overall player.
Let me just type in Michigan QB
this year's
NIL.
class.
We are talking Bryce Underwood?
Bryce Underwood, yeah. He is, I mean, he looks the part. He looks like, you don't think Michigan's like excited about that guy?
Well, again, that's hard comparison.
I get it, but can you bring in?
We just need Barstool Sports to pay for it then, because that's how Michigan got that guy.
Right.
Can they get someone in here where you're like, oh, maybe he has a little tape. You could watch him play a little bit. Does he have a big arm? Is he the size? Like, what are they going to do? Or are they going to go with like an unknown again? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm less concerned about the marketability of the quarterback and more concerned about his production. I'll give you an example.
But
UNLV this year goes like 10-2. And by the way, they just hired Dan Mullen, the former like LSU, Florida and Mississippi State head coach. They just gave him like the richest deal in the history of the Mountain West. Not even close. $3.5 million per year for Dan Mullen. But like, were people in Vegas excited about Haj Malik Williams? I don't think so. He was the former quarterback at Campbell University in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. But then he was really good, is my point. Like, if today the Aztecs signed Haj Malik Williams, but we had never heard of him.
Okay.
But he was going to go on to be this great passer and runner. You're going to take that, is my point.
Yeah, of course.
As opposed to a quote unquote name like, oh, this guy started at LSU in 2022. Who was the guy that started for Virginia Tech that Aztec fans got excited? Braxton Burmeister.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that was a little bit of a name because he had started Virginia Tech. He actually started Oregon for Justin Herbert.
He was awful here.
And then he didn't do anything here.
He's awful.
So I just want to see the production is my point.
I want to see production too, but I also would like to see maybe a little bit more of a veteran at quarterback, like a guy that has had some snaps and played a little bit of college football instead of a complete unknown. Like a complete unknown, okay, you can mold him how you want. I get that. But it would be nice to have a little bit of veteran presence at your quarterback position next year in a year where you you got to win games.
No, I agree with that. I think they'll bring in, this is my guess, it might be more than 2. I think they'll bring in 2 veteran portal quarterbacks because you have, you just signed a freshman and you got a veteran on your roster in Kyle Crum, who's been here a few years, but you're going to have at least 4 quarterbacks on your roster. I think you're supposed to have 5. Because if you have 4, but you're developing like 2 of them, what happens if you lose one of them? Then you're down to like 1 quarterback. You basically have to have 5. They might bring in 3 quarterbacks, like 2 that are legitimately competing for a job, and then a third that maybe could develop as well and have a chance in 2026. But yeah, they're probably going to bring in like at least 2, if not 3 quarterbacks for 2025. And here's the thing with Danny O'Neill, everyone wishes him the best of luck. I mean, by everyone, I mean, I'm wishing him the best of luck. We had him on a number of times. I don't know what his opportunity is going to be like in 2025 with Wisconsin, but hopefully he's got a bright future. He's coming off a shoulder, going to the Big Ten. Like, that's not going to be easy. I wouldn't think he'd be in line to necessarily start from day one at Wisconsin. That would be my guess.
I actually talked to my dad about this about this for about half an hour yesterday. And I guess their quarterback situation is about the same as the Aztecs. They don't have a lot of guys, and like the 2 that they have that are freshmen, I guess they're not ready, so it's not even a possibility. So there's a good chance he's going to start.
All right, well, that'll be interesting to keep an eye on in the weeks ahead. It really will, because who knows? I mean, again, it's like he was under a microscope here. Danny O'Neill was at San Diego State. Imagine the microscope at Wisconsin. You're playing in the Big Ten. Like, you got to win.
Yeah, and the thing now with Sean Lewis as your head coach, whatever quarterback you bring in here, I think the fans are expecting that guy to put up some numbers, like Danny O'Neill had a nice season, especially for being a true freshman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're going to want to see more from the position.
What do you want? Give me if you could snap your fingers and be realistic.
Okay.
The quarterback for the Aztecs, let's say, makes 12 starts next year. Okay. Stays healthy. Give me yards and TDs.
12 starts,
yards and touchdowns. That would make you I don't know if excited, like you'd be pleased with the outcome. Again, not the best year. I'm not saying 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Say, what would you sign up for that's realistic that gives you a chance to win, 6, 7, 8 times next year?
Well, I'm gonna need to see at least 20 plus touchdown passes.
Yeah, what did Danny have this year? 12? Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see
25
yards.
25 touchdowns?
I'd love to see 25 touchdowns,
3,000 yards,
3,200 yards passing. I know it's a little, I know it's
that's
like
a good year.
260, 270 yards a game almost, but, and that's a lot. I get it. But I think the mark of like, get somebody here that can throw for 3,000 plus yards, can give you 20 to 25 touchdowns through the air. And hell, maybe he can give you 5 touchdowns on the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, can you get a guy that can give you 25 to 30 total touchdowns from the position?
Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
would be amazing to do.
Yeah, like 400 plus rush yards along with 3,000 pass yards.
Like if he had like 23 touchdowns thrown, 6 rushing touchdowns, 390, 400 yards on the ground rushing, and 3,100 yards through the air.
Big year.
That's a massive year. I can't remember the last time an asset quarterback did that. If any,
Probably going back to like a Ryan Lindley in terms of passing, throwing.
But can you get a dual threat guy in here? Because that would help out. I'm not saying that they have to get a dual threat guy, but
I think to run his offense, because Sean runs so much zone read, RPO.
Right. Yeah.
So the threat of the run game. And I think, by the way, Danny at times did pick his spots well. He was also not always fully healthy.
And he was not the biggest.
And he wore that knee basically all year.
Yeah. It was, he even told us, he's like, I had a welcome to college football moment early on. I'm like, whoa, that was a big time hit early on against, I think, Oregon State.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
I was at that game. I think he did run a play and he like tried to jump over a lineman and that did not work. And he got thrown to the ground very quickly. And it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's Danny O'Neal, I think, considering the circumstances, had a good year. And I think, to your point, the next quarterback of San Diego State is going to have a better year for the Aztecs in 2025. All right, let's get to Is That Good, the best and worst of the sports weekend. We're here until 5. That's when our Raiders football pregame coverage will begin. If you missed San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich, we'll have it for you coming up at 4:30. We also have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. It's Jon and Jim. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM 252886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Raiders football coming up at 5 p.m. You know who the Raiders play tonight?
They play the Atlanta Falcons, John.
That's exactly right. Raiders Falcons tonight in Vegas, Allegiant Stadium.
Without looking
under the bright lights.
What's the first game of the doubleheader?
That's right.
That's going on before
Bears Vikings.
Wow, where's it played at?
Minnesota.
Good guess.
And I'm correct.
You are.
And Vikings are good and the Bears aren't.
That's correct.
And the Falcons aren't great and the Raiders are terrible.
Raiders have a chance at the number 1 overall pick. Yeah.
And they're playing 2 games within 30 minutes of each other on a Monday night. It's not, I don't fully get it.
It's dumb. I liked it better when they had the one game started like 4:30 and then another game started
like
at 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that. I really don't. All right. We will get to the wrap coming up at 4 p.m. We do have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock hour as well. But right now, let's get to this.
Is that good?
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly. Kick on the way. Boswell. That's a winner.
The good and bad from the sports weekend.
The Giants are a dumpster fire. And if you want to pad some stats, just play them. Lamar Jackson yesterday had 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions. His season, John, it's
good.
About to eclipse his MVP season of 2019. And no one's talking about Lamar Jackson as being the MVP.
You are.
I was.
The league. Well, this year, I think everyone's on the Josh Allen train nationally. But right now, Lamar Jackson this year has 34 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions, is a quarterback rating of 120.7. Is that good?
It is good.
It's very good. All right, I'm going to give you an Aztec for life. Lamont Butler in Lexington against Louisville with the game of his life. He was 10 of 10 from the floor. Now, he was 7 of 12 from the free throw line. Otherwise, he would have scored nearly 40 points. He scores 33 points. It's the second most points ever scored by a Kentucky Wildcat against a Louisville Cardinal team. Lamont Butler, 33 points, 10 of 10 from the floor, 5 of 5 from 3, a career high. Oh, he had, I think, 5 or 6 assists in the game as well. Is that good?
It is good.
An amazing game for Lamont.
You texted me, you're like, "This is the greatest game ever." And I looked at the box score, I'm like,
whoa.
"Whoa!"
Yeah.
And if he could have made more of his free throws,
He would have scored 39 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a perfect day from the field potentially he could have had if he just could shoot free throws.
He has struggled from the line the last couple of years, and
It's
he
been
did
bad.
it when he was younger, but 10 of 10 from the field,
Yeah,
with 5 threes,
that's
doesn't even make that much sense.
Now you sound like the text line. He would have had that number and be like, oh, but he missed 4 free throws.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, still, I mean, that's like look, if you're going to be a guard that makes your living driving to the basket, like you gotta be able to shoot from the free throw line.
I agree. But 33 points is good.
It's very good. Bronny actually did something of significance in the G League. He put up a 30-point game, John. 30 points in the G League. Brent, is that good?
It is good.
In one game?
In one game.
Good for him.
He had 30 points.
No, that's just total all season.
Yeah. He had 30 points and 3 rebounds in that game. Shot 57% from the field. He's now averaging 14 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in the G League.
Who'd they play? University of Phoenix Online?
That's tomorrow.
They played the Suns affiliate.
Yeah, where are they located? Is that the Rio Grande Valley Suns?
Yeah, Valley Suns, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, SDFC. We had them in studio last Friday for their inaugural home jersey unveiling. Well, they set a record for most jersey sales ever by an expansion team over the weekend. Is that good?
It is good.
Dude, those things just sound like hotcakes.
Yeah, they are. They are flying off the shelves.
Yeah. I don't know how many, but it had to be thousands.
I went to
Jim's got his on eBay for like $3,000.
Dude. I went to Walmart over the weekend.
Oh, did you?
And I saw 2 people wearing
Is that right?
SDFC jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're everywhere. And I saw that I saw a bus with like a sticker around it for SDFC as well.
Like it was like wrapped
in Imperial Beach. Yeah, wrapped bus.
Yeah, wrapped.
So the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
The finals are the OKC Thunder against the Bucks. Saturday, John, they had their semifinal games.
Yeah.
The ratings were awful. Like, awful. WWE had an event on Peacock and NBC on Saturday night called Saturday Night's Main Event.
Okay.
That had a bigger rating than both of the semifinal games combined.
Was Hulk Hogan
Is that
or
good?
something?
No, Jesse Ventura was, though.
Now, is this for the WWE or the NBA Cup?
I think it's the NBA Cup.
Oh, the
He's
NBA
taking
Cup.
a shot at.
I'm taking a shot at the NBA Cup.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
I say for WWE, it's good.
That's great for WWE. But for the NBA Cup, like, come on, what are we doing?
Here's my final one. And we've touched on this a little bit here recently. The Lakers are going to be irrelevant.
Okay.
You know, I mean, their relevancy is basically centered on Bronny's G League games and LeBron playing 82 games, which I don't even think is possible anymore, right?
No, he's already sat.
But
He missed like 2 in a row last year.
They're once again really, really, really mid and have the 10th best record in the Western Conference. I mean, they've been all right by record, 14 and 12. But they've been bad recently. They're aging. I mean, what's their biggest storyline? What's the story with the Lakers? Will they make the playoffs? Will they catch lightning in a bottle in the playoffs?
And
will Bronny join them?
Well, the thing with the Lakers is they have no assets right now to make a big time trade.
You've said that recent years too.
The Warriors just traded for Dennis Schroeder from the Nets, a much needed pickup for them, and they're on the hunt to make a splash here at the deadline because, like, they have to. I don't know what's on the Lakers right now that could be used as like a big trade chip. And then unless you want to trade Anthony Davis, but you're not trading Anthony Davis.
Bronny.
Like LeBron James or his son?
He went for 30, he said, against the Valley Suns.
His trade value's never been higher.
Man, if the season ended today, this is like deja vu all over again for the Lakers in this era. They're always like the 10th best team in the West.
So maybe it wasn't Darvin Ham. It was maybe the roster
team
being awful.
I don't know. I think it's a case of, you know, even if you go back 5-10 years ago, LeBron was a great enough player that he could make up for just having a, you know, below average supporting cast, you know, because he was good enough to make up the deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Now with his age, you know, he's not going to go out there and not say he doesn't do it every once in a while, but he's not going to go out there and just, you know, go up and average 40 points for like a week, like he might have done back in the day because they needed him to do it. And AD's too inconsistent. As soon as you get him checked out of the game, he's pretty much out of it. That's why, you know, he'll have one big half and then he'll disappear for the other half.
Get ready for the play-in tournament. It's going to be exciting this year in Los Angeles. All right, final hour, John and Jim, because we have Raiders football beginning at 5. We'll get to the wrap. If you missed our conversation with San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich, you'll hear it at 4:30. Plus, we've got Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock hour. Stay with us on John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Hamul Casino. We'll start in the NFL news today. Not good news for the Lions. David Montgomery is going to have knee surgery. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. 49ers today suspended linebacker Devondre Campbell for the rest of the year. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Bears and Vikings in Minnesota. And then Atlanta takes on the Raiders in Las Vegas. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Hamul Casino is the most fun place to ring in 2025 at noon on New Year's Eve. Get $20 in free play just by playing with your Sweetwater card. Then stick around for a special New Year's buffet and live music. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
SDFC, their opener is in 2 months in LA. So that's just over 2 months. And then the home opener is 2.5 months. It's March 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. The way it's been received in the community, I have a feeling that 2025 is going to be a complete home run for them.
I think that the home opener in Snapdragon Stadium is going to be a massive success. I think it's going to be packed. Supporter groups in soccer are amazing.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is actually the final hour of Jon and Jim because we have Raiders football pregame.
You want to simulcast the last hour of the show and just go only app?
Okay, you want to do 5 to 6, do the extra hour app only?
Yeah, maybe we can go
because we have a new app.
Right.
The new iHeartRadio app. We could simulcast the final hour of Jon and Jim.
Yes, because
I think that is a terrible idea.
Me too. Yeah. It's awful.
I've had to do that before. It sucks.
I was 1,000% joking.
You could do a solo hour.
I'm out of here at 5:01, John.
Okay, so we have the next hour.
We
have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. If you missed our conversation with Rob Orich, he's the new San Diego State defensive coordinator. We'll share that with you coming up at 4:30. But don't go anywhere because again, we have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. The latest on Roki Sasaki to the Padres as well, or just the latest on Roki Sasaki. Where is he heading this offseason? But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think their defense, it's not, I don't think it is. It's the best defense in the league as far as scoring per game. And then their offense, you have the best running back in the league. You have one of the top 5 to 10 wide receivers in the league, maybe top 5 in A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith is amazing as well. Jalen Hurts just doesn't turn the ball over recently. They've won 10 in a row. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles.
You're getting cute. Don't outthink yourself. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Until proven otherwise, they've lost one time. They have the best record in the NFL. They've won consecutive Super Bowls. They have Patrick Mahomes. We all said he's fine, even with the high ankle. It's Kansas City. If Kansas City played Philadelphia right now in a neutral field, which is what the Super Bowl would be, who would be favored? Thank you. Next question. It would be Kansas City, right?
Okay.
Like 2 points or something.
Probably. Because I don't know. Yeah, they would.
Yes, they would.
Because everyone would bet against the Eagles. No one's going to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Again. If they were getting 2.5 points, they'd be like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs are getting points in the Super Bowl.
And the line on that thing would change so fast because everybody would bet the Chiefs.
That's the thing.
Next happened last year. Hate my life.
Would Michael Vick make a good college head coach?
Oh, so he's interviewing?
They're going to say, would he make a good college quarterback again?
Oh, he'd be very good. I mean, maybe not his age, but he was very good at Virginia Tech.
That's the new way of college now. It's just you don't really need much coaching experience or any coaching experience, but if you got a name,
you're like the overseer of the program.
Like now Dion at Jackson State, did get hired before ever coaching college, but getting that experience there and then going to Colorado really helped. But he is an overseer of everything. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Bill Belichick is going to be an overseer of everything. A lot of coaches nowadays are overseers of everything in
CEOs.
In college. CEOs, yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
Why not? Sure, yeah.
So he's interviewing with Norfolk State. He's out of that area. I think Newport News in Virginia. And then he's also apparently interviewed or discussed the Sacramento State opening here in California at the FCS level. I have no idea if he would be a good coach. Just because, by the way, this has worked out for Deion Sanders does not mean it's going to work out for all these other former players. It's possible that it will, but it's also possible that it doesn't work out. But yeah, I mean, could it work maybe at Norfolk State or at the FCS level to start for Michael Vick? Yeah, I don't see why it couldn't, but I also don't think it's some guarantee that because it's worked out to some extent for Deion Sanders, it would work out for Michael Vick and others. Next question.
How confident are you that the Padres are a playoff team in 2025?
Like, not very confident.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, your level of confidence that the Padres are in the postseason in 2025 is
10 being high.
Thank you, Brad.
I'll go 5.
5. So you could be convinced either way that they're in or out.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I could too.
I
could too.
I'm not going to next year. Now, again, there's still a lot of moves to be made. They make some right moves. My take completely changes.
Yeah.
But as of this moment, everything that we're hearing, the lack of moves that they have made, kind of the almost like dark little cloud over the Padres right now as far as not much resources to go out and spend with. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. I don't feel that great going into next season because you're probably not going to have Dylan Cease or someone else, and the team's going to look a lot different.
I'm with you. I agree. I could be convinced one way or the other, whether or not they make the postseason in 2025. The good is there is a real core that is capable, and we saw that a year ago. And if Jackson Merrill is Jackson Merrill, that goes a long way too.
Yes.
The bad of it is the payroll and the, hey, a year ago we traded Juan Soto. This year, do we have to trade Dylan Cease? What's going to happen with Roki Sasaki? But yeah, I say it's a coin flip whether they make it or not. I think they'll be a team that's certainly capable of being better than 500, but do they make the postseason? They have moves to make in order to feel better about them making the postseason in 2025.
Yeah, now if they sign Roki Sasaki, they keep Dylan Cease. They do have to offload Luis Ariz, but then they re-sign Jerkson Profar. They go out and make a trade, get some other pieces. Got Mr. SpongeBob, Oscar, whatever his last name is out there on the bench.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can convince me if you want. Sure. But again, right now with a very incomplete team, still a bunch of moves that need to be made, holes everywhere on the roster. Like, I am at a 5. I could go either way easily.
Next question.
Who will be a better pro, Ashton Genty or Travis Hunter?
Love that question.
I like Travis Hunter a lot. I just think that he's a little undersized. Am I wrong? Like,
I think other people feel that way.
Like, in what position is he going to play? He's not playing two ways.
He's going to try. I bet until he has his first real injury, he'll play both ways.
Okay, well, if he picks corner, then I'm picking Ashton Genty because I think Ashton Genty has an opportunity to make a way bigger impact than Travis Hunter if Travis Hunter were to choose to play defensive back. That's just what I think. I think even wide receiver.
Even receiver is undersized.
I think he's undersized. I think Ashton Genty is going to make a bigger impact.
I think Hunter's going to be a good player, but I think Genty's going to be a better player. And I think Genty has the potential to be as good as Saquon Barkley, which has been a pretty good. Again, is he going to be a Hall of Fame player? No. Is he going to be remembered as a top 10 running back? No. But is he a really good running back for 5, 6, 7 consecutive years in the NFL, which is who Saquon Barkley? He's battled injuries. But I think he has the potential to be Saquon Barkley in the NFL, which would be a very good career.
He could have if he just has a burst of 3 amazing years, which you could do as a running back.
Absolutely.
I think those would be more impactful than the career of Travis Hunter.
Yeah, how would Genty, all of a sudden, fast forward, Genty's in the NFL. All of a sudden, he's not a good running back? No, he's an elite running back. Now, again, the running back position isn't the quarterback position. You could argue it might not be the receiver position, but he will be an elite runner, if healthy, in the NFL for a period of time.
Now, Travis Hunter, when I say his size could be an issue, there's players in the NFL that are about his size. I think Devontae Smith, who won a Heisman.
Yeah.
The wide receiver for
absolutely.
He's about kind of the same build.
Sure.
Xavier Woods of the Kansas City Chiefs, the fastest man at the combine. I think Travis Hunter is bigger than him by good 20 pounds, a couple inches for sure. And he's doing things this year with Kansas City.
But you make a good point. Like, is he drafted first and foremost as a corner?
Yeah.
Or is he drafted first and foremost as a receiver?
Right. That's tough because, like, what's more valuable
for the franchise? Yeah. And maybe for him.
And where he goes is gonna matter a lot too.
Most of the scouts as of right now are saying that he'll get drafted as a corner. And then they might go the Woodson route, maybe throw him in occasionally at wide receiver. But in terms of his size, he's 6'1". Darrelle Revis is only 5'11".
Is he 6'1"? He doesn't seem 6'1".
I just looked it up.
Yeah.
They have him listed as 6'1". So
he's lanky.
He's tall.
Lanky.
Yeah.
He's lanky.
Now, here's the thing. Even if he does play just one way, which is ultimately what's going to happen, he's still an amazing decoy and still will get on the football field on both sides of the ball. Like, even if he's a corner, there's going to be 8 plays a game.
Yeah.
He's out there. Now, there's not going to be 80 plays, but there's going to be 8 plays a game. He's out there.
But you know, like Sauce Gardner is a really good corner.
Yes.
But he's been on awful teams. He hasn't been able to change that team around.
Right. What's the value of a corner?
Right.
Yeah. You could take away a receiver potentially. It doesn't mean you're going to win a game.
Well, you need a really good team around you.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be an amazing corner, but
who gets drafted higher? Hunter, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Has to, because the running back position is devalued. I wouldn't think he'd be.
I think Genty will go top 15.
I was going to say teens. That's what I was thinking.
I think Hunter could go top 10.
The highest of them all is Shador.
Yeah, Shador is the highest.
Yeah.
One. I don't know. I gotta see what's like the scouts say about Travis Hunter and listen to like a Daniel Jeremiah podcast on Travis Hunter.
Again, he missed a lot of time last year at Colorado.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced he's going to be able to stay healthy. But then again, it's the NFL. I mean, nobody can fully stay healthy.
Yeah, and teams will not. Most teams, maybe there's just one team, and all it takes is one team, but they're not going to be influenced by the media.
No, not at all.
At all. And you'll know what teams think about a player if they start dropping, and the media will have no influence like they did in the Heisman vote to where this gets picked.
I want to ask Sean Lewis about Travis Hunter, where he thinks his pro prospects are. Sean Lewis coached Travis Hunter 2 years ago at CU.
He's like, third rounder.
No. I'm just curious. Does he think his skill set is more offense or defense, or could he play both ways at that level? All right. On the other side, Rob Manfred has weighed in on deferrals. Are they good or not for baseball? The latest from Rob Manfred is next. All right, it is a Monday, Jim Fact, and every Monday in December, you've got a chance to win luxury handbags from top brands like Louis Vuitton, Versace, and more over at Hamul Casino. Hey, guys, it is Jon and Jim. They have 10 winners every hour tonight, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Onyx players receive an extra $100 cash bonus, plus one lucky winner each hour will have the opportunity to pick a purse. This is going to be packed with cash up to $25,000. And you get to keep the purse too.
Yeah, after you win a luxury purse and hopefully $25,000 in cash, you can take some of that money and head on over to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub or Loft 94. They have amazing dining experiences at Hamul Casino. Great food everywhere around that place. Also, you can watch any sporting event that you want. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub is a great place to watch NFL, college basketball, college football, NFL tonight with Monday Night Football doubleheader. Get to Hamul Casino. They have everything you need.
All right. Also, New Year's Eve is coming. You can join them at the holographic New Year's party. Celebrate in style. They'll kick off festivities on New Year's Eve at noon and give $20 free play to everyone beginning at noon. Make it an unforgettable New Year's celebration at Hamul.
Yeah, you can get to Hamul for New Year's Eve. You can win great prizes there. You can win lots of money and have great food as well. And watch every sporting event that you want. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
All right, make sure to check out the brand new iHeartRadio app. If you don't have access yet, you will this week. Complete overhaul, already the #1 audio app in the world. It's even better now heading into 2025. Check the App Store. If you haven't received access yet, you will. So make sure to check. You can listen to Jon and Jim right there. All new features and access coming to the free iHeartRadio app later this week and certainly throughout 2025 as well. We have Holiday Bowl tickets, Jim. We'll give those away coming up later this hour. Raiders football at 5 p.m. This is the commissioner to the Athletic on deferrals.
Oh,
because remember, the Padres spending was bad for baseball.
Oh,
but
very bad.
$680 million in deferrals to Shohei Ohtani, all good.
Let me guess.
Not sustainable.
Let me guess. He says it's a smart strategy from the Dodgers.
Wrong.
Okay.
This is what he says. Deferrals at some point can become problematic. Historically, we did have one franchise, Arizona, that got itself into financial difficulties as a result of excessive deferrals. We've strengthened our rules in terms of the funding of deferred compensation in order to avoid that kind of problem. But, look, obviously the bigger the numbers get, the bigger the concern. They've deferred, they being the Dodgers. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Forget about whatever Arizona did. That's peanuts. They didn't defer $600. I don't even care what Arizona's done.
No.
There was no $680 million deferral. There was no Freeman and Betts and whomever else deferral added on. They're at $1 billion in deferral. And you can tell me, well, they have the pocketbooks to pay for it. And they probably do. But doesn't that mean they're just further taking advantage of their financial advantages? Like, they already have the financial advantage. They have a larger TV deal than most teams. And then they exacerbate it by not paying players right now, but they do it into the future, therefore freeing up more payroll for the now.
Is there any bigger gap between two organizations than the Players Organization and Major League Baseball?
You're saying between the MLBPA and the commissioner's office when it comes to
the league, getting on the same page and making sure that, because there's most likely, because of all these deferrals and all these big time contracts with Ohtani and Soto and the rules and everything, we're likely looking at a work stoppage in 2026. It's probably coming, especially if the owners ask for some type of, not salary cap, but some type of salary restrictions in there, as far as maybe deferrals go or taxes go or whatever. I'm just saying the gap in the disconnect between the MLBPA and the owners, it feels like they're never going to get on the same page here. And so you're always going to have situations where you have massive deferrals and you have the haves and the have-nots and the teams that have all the money because of the TV contracts and the other teams having to build teams with scraps. It just feels like there's such a disconnect all the time with the owners and the MLBPA, and it's going to cause problems like this every single year.
It's always been an S show.
I know. It always
the
has.
Relationship between the players and the owners in Major League Baseball, and maybe that's just sports. But here's the thing. The players aren't anti-deferral, nor are the owners currently.
But
hence the fact that this is in the CBA. So someone's going to have to put a foot down, theoretically ownership to level the playing field. I don't know if the players care, but the owners should care, because if the top three teams are running away and spending and deferring future salary to then add additional players for the now, you're creating more of a gap between the haves and the have-nots. So I don't know if the players care.
I don't think they do either.
They'll take the large contract.
I think that the Dodgers found this loophole and they're, using it to the best of their ability, and they're actually taking insane advantage of this, is causing a lot of owners around baseball to be like,
what's going on here?
That's not what we envisioned this to be.
Here's the other thing. The next time the CBA is up, like you said, 2026, when the next time there's a possibility of a strike or a lockout. The last time we got into this situation, they missed 0 games. We spent so much time on it, and we always talk about this strife, this disconnect between these two sides. It happens in other sports too. We've seen lockouts, NFL back in the day, NBA, NHL. NHL missed a season. It was 94, around that. We talk about all this discontent and disconnect. They've missed no games in how long? When is the last time Major League Baseball, due to a strike, missed 1 game? Is it 1994?
94.
The last time they missed one game was 30 years ago. So I'm not going into 2026 be like, oh my gosh, all hell's going to break loose. We said the same thing 5 years ago.
We also
and
know
nothing happened.
We also know that offseason it was dreadful.
Awful. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And it looked like it wasn't going to happen.
It was painful.
We pushed all the way up against it, and they blew past deadlines constantly. And they still played 162 somehow.
They missed a day, and then they just doubled up.
There was like a doubleheader day. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like heading into 2026, I'm not going to fear the doomsday scenario because that's what everyone feared 3 years ago, and it didn't present itself.
Right. But
So
still,
I just feel like they'll figure out a way.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but it shouldn't just be like, we'll just figure something out. Like they need to make this thing better.
Yeah.
And
it's
it
not
will
good.
never get better. It will never get better. There's going to always be issues with it. There's always going to be like deferrals, not to this extent, but like something like that in the future where they're complaining about this pops up and this becomes a problem. Like they created this CBT threshold, like the Cohen tax, and guess what? Cohen doesn't even care about them. He'll pass that by light years. That's not affecting him, and that's what the whole point of this was supposed to be, to actually affect Steve Cohen from going out and doing what he's actually doing right now, which is spending like almost $1 billion on a player.
I don't know how you prevent it from happening because the players won't sign off on capping spending. And the owners don't want to necessarily cap it either. I mean, yeah, there's a group of owners that do, but they're going to outweigh the demands of Steve Cohen and the Dodger ownership group and the Yankees and the Reds. I don't see that.
If you had, and I don't think there is, but if out of the 30 owners, say you had a majority, so you had 16 that were steadfast on getting a salary cap in place, then you're having a lockout for a while because that will never happen.
Well, not with the players union.
Exactly. So if you had a majority of all the owners in baseball that really wanted a salary cap in place because of things that are happening with the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets,
sure,
that's just not going to happen because Major League Baseball has bent the knee to the MLBPA, and the MLBPA will never, ever relinquish that, power of getting paid the most possible money they can get in these player contracts. It's just going to be a stalemate.
Here's my question though: do the players get more money when the Mets spend a zillion and the A's spend nothing? Like in the NFL, everyone spends the same. NBA, everyone spends the same. Everyone's within 10% of the cap, basically. Yeah. So just make it up real quick and we'll break. Let's just pretend for round numbers. Hear me out. $100 million in all sports is the cap. Just hear me out. So therefore, in the NFL, 100 million times 32 is 3.2 billion. So in Major League Baseball, 30 teams, 100 million times 30 is 3 billion. But right now, let's say some teams are spending way more, but some teams are spending way less. Would it be all the same if everyone spent up to the cap? Would it actually be more money if all teams reached a cap as opposed to 5 going drastically over and 15 going drastically under?
I get what you're saying.
Is there more overall money if everyone is reaching the cap than 5 teams blowing by it and 10 teams doing absolutely nothing? And I don't know the answer to that, but it's at least a possibility. Rob Orich is the San Diego State brand new defensive coordinator. He was on staff for Sean Lewis last year. If you missed our conversation earlier with Rob Orich, you'll hear it on the other side. Plus, we have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. We'll do that this hour and Raiders football at 5 p.m. Stay with us. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Listen up, homeowners. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals or paperwork or even any waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, is now saving over $1,000 a month. We're talking about instant approvals with low fixed rates and fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now. See how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336 or visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This update's brought to you by Hamul Casino. Doubleheader tonight for Monday Night Football. Bears and Vikings from Minnesota and Falcons and Raiders from Las Vegas. You can listen to the Falcons-Raiders game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And NFL news of the day, Devondre Campbell, Niners linebacker, was suspended for the rest of the season for not wanting to play in the Niners' last game on Thursday night against the Rams. And Lions running back David Montgomery is going to miss the rest of the season with knee surgery. Hamul Casino is the most fun place to ring in 2025. At noon on New Year's Eve, get $20 in free play just by playing with your Sweetwater card. Then stick around for a special New Year's buffet and live music. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else.
All right. In about 10 or 15 minutes, Raiders football coming up at 5. You missed it earlier. Our conversation with San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich. We started the conversation asking about his excitement level for the new opportunity.
Man, I am jacked up. I am jacked up to be part of it and jacked up to kind of take over the reins of what I think is a powerhouse of a football operation, man. And got a lot of love in my heart for Coach Lou, for giving me his trust and letting me step into this role. And extremely excited to lead the people we got in this building. I think we got tremendous people in the staff and a tremendous roster returning to us. And so I can't wait to get going.
Are you guys going to be running the same defensive schemes that you ran last year for this upcoming season?
Well, from the outside, we're going to look like a 4-2-5,
okay.
Similar to what you saw last year. Now, we'll be similar in what we look like from a structural standpoint, but we will be different in the way we operate, teach, and go about executing the scheme.
Rob Orich is with us right now. So this is not your first time as a DC. You had tremendous success at Idaho, some of the best years in Idaho history before you got to San Diego State. What was that experience like at Idaho, and how has that prepared you for right now?
Well, it's a great question. I really think the years I spent at Idaho, flipping that roster and helping Coach Eck build the culture over there has really prepared me for this role. And I say that is we took over a defense there that was giving up 33, 34 points per game. And in year one, we were able to take 8 points off the scoreboard and finish as the number one overall defense in the Big Sky. And part of our philosophy, and that's not a guarantee we're going to do that year one, so no guarantees here. But one thing we were able to do was, really simplify our approach for what we're going to execute on the field and get our guys to play extremely hard. And knowing our roster and the core we got coming back, I think our guys are craving the ability to be cut loose on the football field and play really fast. And we got the guys in the house to do that.
How nice is it knowing that Trey White and other starters from the defense are returning for you this upcoming season?
Man, I'm so excited that our core has put their faith in us and Coach Lou and his staff to come back. We got a tremendous core coming back, not just Trey White, but I'm exceptionally excited for him to keep getting after the passer the way he got after it in 2024. I think we're going to see him even take a step in 2025, the second year being in that position. But all the way through our core, Chris Johnson at corner, Tano and Owen at linebacker, Dale Shawn and Eric Berry at safety. And then I'm really jacked up about our returning defensive front players. I think we got a great core up there. I think we got the ability to be really stout against the run. And the way we prepare and the way we build, we're really doing it to build against Boise State. Those are the guys we have to be ready to compete and go win against if we want to win this conference title the way we should. We're going to prep for them all year.
Interesting you say that. Boise will be in San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium in 2025, of course, headed to the expanded college football playoff this year as well. Rob Orich, San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, with us right now on Jon and Jim. It's interesting because you mentioned some of the expected returnees, the Trey Whites, Chris Johnsons, Tana Latulis, and others. How excited were they for you when they found out about your new opportunity?
I think they were jacked up based on our conversations. We have a tremendously mature group. And they know what the product on the field should look like. They know the expectation of this program. And when those three kind of put their trust into me, I was really honored. And there was a lot of pride in my heart that three of the leaders on this team really wanted to put their faith in me. And I'm going to ride with those guys, man. They got a lot of love in my heart forever. And they are going to be the key for us getting this thing going the way it should. Their leadership, their positivity in the building, building on Coach Lou's culture. I think they are eager to go, and I think you can tell from me I'm ready to go as well.
It's always a great day when you have somebody that you're recruiting either through the portal or in high school commit to you guys at San Diego State today. Big one, Niles King officially signed with you guys today. What can you tell us about Niles King and what he's going to bring to this defense?
Niles is a dude. Niles is 6'5", 271, built like a power forward, can run, can lower his levels in pass rush. He's going to be a great addition to our defensive front, which I believe is a strength of ours heading into next season. I know one thing that was important for him was the opportunity to rush the passer and do it at the highest level. And when you pair him alongside the Trey Whites, the Brady Masters, the Ryan Hendersons that we got returning in our front, I think he's excited not to see double teams like he did the entire time in the GLIAC conference at Division II. So I expect big things from Niles, and I think he is a tremendous fit for our scheme, but he's a great kid, man. He's a great kid out of West Bloomfield High School in Michigan. Not a listener knows where that's at, but that's a Midwest kid coming out to the coast, man. He's ready for it.
Can you take us more behind the scenes there? Because you see a player like Niles King, and he was getting like national recruiting buzz. I saw Pete Thamel at ESPN when he went into the portal saying, hey, he's as good of a Division II player as there is that's in the portal. And then Thamel actually followed up today saying he's committed to San Diego State. What was it about the Mesa? Was it the system? Was it being paired opposite of Trey White and not drawing those doubles? Like what makes San Diego State, among all the available options for a player like Niles King, how do you even get involved in his recruitment process?
Well, Niles was a fun situation because he's from Michigan and I'm from Michigan. Okay. He's a D2 guy. I'm a D2 guy. And I think we had some common bonds of wanting to prove people wrong, wanting to prove people we could do it at a high level. And when Niles got out here, first time you ever seen a palm tree, that didn't hurt. But when Niles got out here, man, he's a kid that craves authentic communication. I think he has a pretty high BS meter. And when he was around us and the way Coach Lou interacted with him, the way he felt kind of being around our staff, he was committed before we had talked really an ounce of football. This was the environment he wanted to be in. And I'm thankful that he's going to put his faith in us, man. But it's our job to take a kid like that and make him better. And so he's going to have a heck of an off season for us once he gets into our player development program. I think he's scratching at the bit to get going because he's never really stepped into a facility that has the resources that the San Diego State has.
Another player that committed to you guys just about an hour ago, linebacker from Utah State, Tanner Williams. What can you tell us about what he can bring to this defense?
Yeah, Tanner Williams is an extremely steady player, and I think he's just starting. He's a freshman, played a little bit at Utah State this year, was at Modern Day High School out of the Los Angeles area. He is wired to be a linebacker. You know those guys you just meet, and you're just like, that guy's a linebacker? That is Tanner Williams. And he is fast, much faster than what you would think looking at his frame, but he's about 6'1.5", 225 pounds, probably runs a high 4.5, and he's got a chance to be an every down type player for us in the 4-2-5 system. What I like about him the most, man, is all he cares about is ball. He's not into the glitz and glam. That's a blue collar guy that wants to be around the football, and I anticipate that's what we'll see.
What other priorities? I mean, the portal's so crucial. Obviously, rosters are always evolving. As you look at the portal being open and as you put an eye towards 2025, what are some additional priorities in the days and weeks ahead?
Yeah, we're really fortunate is that we're not in a situation where we have to add a ton of pieces defensively. What we look at in the portal is not necessarily always a position-specific person. Obviously, you have to fill those needs, but a type of player. And that type of player, he can be undersized, but as long as he plays the game extremely fast with a ton of passion and he tackles at a high clip on tape, we feel like those guys are good fits for us. We want passionate football players who love to hit, who love to play the game. And the guys we've taken out of the portal so far, their love of football and their quest to be great players are two boxes we checked right away. And so whatever we look for in the portal, those are two mandates.
Rob, we're excited for you. Great opportunity, obviously. All the defensive history on the Mesa. It's been one of the premier defenses in America for the better part of the last 20 years. We're excited for you to continue that and carry on the mantle. Again, Rob Orich, he was here a year ago as edge coach for San Diego State, now elevated to defensive coordinator for Sean Lewis in 2025. We appreciate you taking time for us. Happy holidays, and we'll do it again in 2025.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, man. Can't wait. See you guys later.
All right, again, our conversation with Rob Orich, San Diego State's new defensive coordinator. You need to call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl, an amazing holiday gift. We have 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl. It's a week from Friday night, Washington State and Syracuse. That's Friday, December 27th at Snapdragon Stadium. The number to call, first 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. So the first 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, 877-767-4760, an amazing holiday gift. Call right now. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, 877-767-4760, and Raiders football at 5 p.m., but trivia is next. All right, Raiders football at 5 p.m. Jim wants to talk about the Pop-Tart Bowl. We'll go tomorrow. Let's get to it. It's a working toaster. Pretty cool.
Way to ruin the segment.
It's cool. I like it.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Matt and we have Frank. Matt, you called it first. We have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with.
No, I said Matt.
Who's only Matt? Who is Matt? Only Matt.
Who do you want to pick, Matt?
This is Matt. I'll take Jim.
Okay, perfect. Frank, you get John, okay?
I'll take John. That's fine.
I'll take.
I guess the Raiders play Monday Night Football tonight. Today's question: can you name me 9 quarterbacks in Raiders history with 10,000 or more passing yards with the team? So the question is, we're looking for any of the 9 Raiders quarterbacks with 10,000 or more passing yards with the team.
Oh, okay. All right, Frank, you're up first. You were first guest. You have the lifeline if you want to use it.
No, I'll go with Plunkett, maybe.
There we go.
Yay!
Matt, you're up next. Who's your first guest? You have the lifeline if you want to use it.
Let's go Rich Gannon.
Rich Gannon. Yes. Okay. Frank, back to you. What's your second guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Rich Gannon. Yes. Derek Carr.
Matt, back to you. What's your second guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Ken Stabler.
Yes. Yes. Frank, back to you. What's your final guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Stabler.
Look at these guys. All right. I guess.
Final guess. Send this thing to overtime. You have a lifeline.
You know what? I'm gonna bring my lifeline. I'll take.
Poop. Yeah. I'm trying to
Is that your answer?
No,
this is your
it's not.
team. They're on our station.
I've
We've been hyping them up.
Every quarterback that I've
Look, there's the
taken.
quarterback. Desmond Ritter, the Cincinnati grad.
The only guess
Come
I
on,
have, I
man.
know it's wrong because he hasn't played there long enough, and it's just on the top of my head is Jimmy G, but that's not right. So I'm sorry, Matt. I'm literally no help right now. Kenny Stabler was my guess. So this is all up to you there, buddy.
Do I still get to pick?
Yeah, you get to pick.
You get to pick. Yeah, you get to pick.
All right, screw it. Yeah, Jeff George.
Jeff George.
Jeff George for the tie.
Oh, good guess.
Did he
though.
play?
Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, good guess.
I mean,
Honestly,
better than
good
Jamarcus
guess.
Russell.
Yeah.
Better than Desmond Ritter.
Or Jimmy G.
Better than Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Who else is on this list? That's going to be tough.
All right, Carr's number 1, Stabler's 2, Gannon is 3, Daryl LaMonica.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
did say
You're
that
going
right.
way
He's
back.
number 4.
Yeah, way back.
Plunkett's 5. Mark Wilson is 6.
Mark Wilson.
Tom Flores is number 7.
God, I'm an idiot.
Hostetler is 8, and the last one, Jay Schrader.
You know who would be amazing at this game for anything
Yeah,
that we
Steve,
do?
obviously.
Yeah. He would nail every single pick.
one. Dude, he would be so good at that.
He'd be like, "You're an idiot."
How many
Boom.
yards? Hostetler, 13,191.
In 1978.
Do a Steve real quick.
Jimmy, in 1974, the runner-up to the Heisman was, you guessed it.
Now,
Did you know I'm not allowed to talk about my Heisman vote because they'll come and strip it from me?
do something on Rivers not being a Hall of Famer.
I don't know. I got nothing. You do
Yes,
it.
you do.
I did
No,
a-
but
I
your
did an
voice was
impression.
good.
Brent
But
did an
give me-
impression.
I need something with Rivers.
Man, this guy. I don't know. I got nothing.
No, but your voice a minute ago was so good on. What did you say?
John.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers has not
less
won
passing
a
yards
Super
than
Bowl.
Warren Moon, less rushing yards than Randall Cunningham. 2 postseason wins, one of them with a broken knee.
I love when he.
Okay.
I love when someone says something and Steve is like baffled by it.
I know.
And then he goes, stop. He goes, he's like, okay, stop. Like, you know that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, John, no, stop. Stop, John, stop.
Oh,
Like, he
so
brings everything to a halt.
Yeah, you used to have to do it every day. Well, that was because the Padres